Disco fans, remember the late 70s? These bands topped the charts and packed the clubs. But when disco died, radio stations reformatted and labels dropped entire rosters overnight. Today, 10 disco bands from the 70s that disappeared so completely, you forgot they existed. If you remember all 10 without looking them up, you were really there. We're starting easy, but it gets more obscure as we go down. Number 10, Lips Inc. Minneapolis, 1979. Stephen Greenberg was a wedding DJ who wanted out of the bland Twin Cities scene. He wrote a song about escaping to a better place and called it Funky Town. He formed Lips Inc. as a studio project with rotating session musicians. No real band, just Greenberg's vision. He met Cynthia Johnson, Miss Black Minnesota 1976, working as a police department secretary. Her voice could hit that robotic vocoder sound Greenberg needed. They recorded Funky Town, and Casablanca Records released it in March 1980. 4 weeks later, #1 on the charts, sold 2 million copies. But that was just America. Funky Town went #1 in 28 countries worldwide, the second single ever to achieve that. The synth riff was unforgettable. Nobody could get it out of their heads. Then they tried to follow it up. Rocket peaked at number 64, their only other pop chart entry ever. How Long hit the dance charts in 1981 but went nowhere mainstream. 3 more albums disappeared. The band disbanded in 1985. Stephen Greenberg became a web designer. Funky Town became immortal, covered by Pseudo Echo, used in commercials and movies. But Lips Inc.? Most people who know the song have no idea who recorded it. The band vanished. The song never did. Number 9, The Trammps. Saturday Night Fever changed everything. When the producers needed one more song for the 1977 soundtrack, the Trammps' attorney David Steinberg made a deal. They included Disco Inferno, the nearly 11-minute album version. The soundtrack sold over 40 million copies worldwide. Suddenly, a song that had flopped a year earlier was everywhere, because Disco Inferno had flopped. Released in 1976, it peaked at number 53 on the charts. The Philadelphia band wrote it inspired by the towering Inferno disaster film, using Burn Baby Burn as a reference to the Watts riots. Drummer Earl Young later admitted, "That was a bad mistake for us because everything they cut after that was disco." Where do we go from here? Where do we go now? But Saturday Night Fever resurrected it. Atlantic Records re-released Disco Inferno in 1978, and it shot to number 11. Topped the Dance Club Songs chart for 6 weeks. The Trammps had other hits. Hold Back the Night hit number 5 in the UK. That's Where the Happy People Go reached number 27 in the US. But they could never escape that one song. When disco died in 1979, the Trammps died with it. Lead singer Jimmy Ellis died in 2012 at age 74 from Alzheimer's. The band became synonymous with one song, and that song became synonymous with disco itself. Number 8, Heatwave. An international funk disco band formed in Germany by an American serviceman. That's how Heatwave started. Johnny Wilder Jr. from Dayton, Ohio was stationed in West Germany when he began performing. After his discharge, he stayed and formed a band with his brother Keith, plus musicians from England, Switzerland, Czechoslovakia, and Jamaica. They weren't disco purists. They mixed funk, soul, and R&B into something heavier than the typical disco sound. Their 1976 debut album, Too Hot to Handle, produced 3 hits. Boogie Nights hit number 2 in both the US and UK in 1977. Then came Always and Forever, written by keyboardist Rod Temperton. Released in December 1977, the ballad hit number 2 on the charts and became the slow dance song of 1978. Every wedding, every prom, every high school dance played it. The follow-up album, Central Heating in 1978, gave them The Groove Line, another massive hit. But 1978 brought tragedy. Guitarist Eric Johns quit. Then Rod Temperton left to write for Michael Jackson. He'd go on to write Thriller and Rock With You. Heatwave released more albums, but never recovered. Johnny Wilder died in 2006. Rod Temperton died in 2016. Keith Wilder died in 2017. Always and Forever has been covered by Luther Vandross, Johnny Mathis, and dozens more. But Heatwave, most people don't even know who sang it. Number 7, A Taste of Honey. Grammy Award for Best New Artist, February 1979. A Taste of Honey beat Elvis Costello and the Cars. That's how big Boogie Oogie Oogie was. The song went #1 for 3 weeks on the charts in fall 1978. Sold 2 million copies. First platinum single in Capitol Records history. The Los Angeles band formed in 1972. Janice Marie Johnson on bass and lead vocals, Hazel Payne on guitar, Harry Kibble on keyboards, Donald Johnson on drums. They toured military bases across Asia and Europe for 6 years before Capitol signed them. Johnson wrote Boogie Oogie Oogie with Kibble. The bass line is unforgettable. The lyrics consisted of basically one phrase repeated, Boogie Oogie Oogie till you just can't boogie no more.
All right, you know this part too. Get on the floor.
They tried to follow it up. Do It Good went to #79 pop. Nothing else charted. Then in 1981, they covered Sukiyaki, the Japanese song from 1963. That went #3 pop, #1 R&B. Suddenly they were out of the disco category. But disco was already dead. The band released one more album in 1982 and broke up. Janice Marie Johnson went solo. Hazel Payne left the music industry. The band that won a Grammy over Elvis Costello vanished within 4 years. #6, Silver Convention. 6 words. Fly, Robin, fly had exactly 6 words. Fly, Robin, up to the sky. That's it. The complete lyrics. The song went #1 in the US for 3 weeks in November 1975 and #1 in Canada. Sold over 1 million copies. Won a Grammy for Best R&B Instrumental Performance. The mostly instrumental disco track became a global phenomenon.
Fly, Robin, fly.
Silver Convention wasn't even a real band. Germany. Producers Sylvester Levay and Michael Kunze created it in Munich as a studio project. They used session vocalists for recordings, then recruited 3 women, Penny McLean, Linda Thompson, and Ramona Wolf, for public appearances. The formula worked. Their next single, Get Up and Boogie, in 1976, also had 6 words. Get Up and Boogie, that's right. It hit #2 in the US, kept from #1 by Wings' Silly Love Songs.
Get up and boogie.
They tried to replicate the minimalist lyric formula. No No Joe, in September 1976, peaked at #60. Everything after that flopped. By 1979, the group disbanded. LaVey went on to produce musicals. The 3 singers left the music industry entirely. Silver Convention proved that sometimes less is more, but also that lightning doesn't strike 3 times. We're halfway through. How many of these bands did you actually remember? Drop a comment. Which band deserved better, or which one did you like the most? Hit the like button if you knew at least 3 of these bands. The next 5, even more forgotten. Let's keep going. #5, the Ritchie Family. Jacques Morali had a vision. The French producer wanted a female disco group that could dominate the clubs. So in 1975, he created the Ritchie Family, named after producer Richie Rome, with a T added. The original trio was Cassandra Wooten, Gwendolyn Oliver, and Cheryl Mason Jacks. None of them were related. They were a studio creation built specifically to make disco hits.
It shows on every face that life's a festival, so try some letting go.
Their first single, Brazil, in 1975, hit #11 on the charts, but 1976 brought their masterpiece, The Best Disco in Town, a medley of disco hits including snippets of I Love Music, Fly, Robin, Fly, Love to Love You Baby, and others, all recreated by musicians, not sampled. The medley hit #17 on the pop charts, #1 on the dance charts. It became a worldwide phenomenon.
Believe this town, 'cause we don't want you around.
Then the lineup changed. New members rotated in. Jackie Smith Lee, Edna Holt, Theodosia Dodi Dreyer all took turns fronting the group. More albums came out. Arabian Nights, Life is Music, African Queens, but none matched the success of that medley. When disco died, so did the Ritchie Family. They disbanded in the early 80s. Jacques Morali went on to create the Village People. Ritchie Family, just another rotating disco act that vanished. #4, Santa Esmeralda. The 16-minute epic took up an entire side of their debut album. Summer 1977, Santa Esmeralda transformed the Animals' Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood into a disco flamenco Latin fusion that nobody saw coming. French producers Nicolas Skorsky and Jean-Manuel de Scarano recruited American singer Leroy Gomez in Paris and created something completely different.
I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't.
The song topped the US disco chart and matched the Animals' number 15 peak on the charts. The album went gold. Casablanca Records picked it up for worldwide distribution. Then they did it again. House of the Rising Sun, another Animals cover, another top 20 disco hit. The formula worked twice.
Man, your life, it's sheer misery.
But Leroy Gomez only recorded one album with them. After that, singer Jimmy Goings replaced him. The group kept releasing albums through 1982. Beauty Don't Be Shy Tonight, Hush, Green Talisman, experimenting with reggae and other sounds. Nothing worked. When disco died and Casablanca collapsed, Santa Esmeralda disbanded. In 2003, Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood appeared in Kill Bill. The song found new life. The band remained forgotten. Number 3, Eruption.
Gonna stay at Heartbreak Hotel.
They were a British disco band with Caribbean origins, formed in 1974. Original singer Lindell Leslie left early. Backing singer Precious Wilson stepped forward to become the lead. In 1977, they were the support act for Boney M's European tour. Producer Frank Farian signed them to Germany's Hansa Records.
We parted, and there's one sound that I just can't.
Their cover of Ann Peebles' I Can't Stand the Rain exploded in December 1977. Number 1 in Belgium and Australia, number 5 in the UK, number 18 on the charts in the US. The disco soul arrangement with Wilson's powerful vocals made it a worldwide hit. Then came One Way Ticket, a cover of Neil Sedaka's song, number 9 in the UK in 1979. 2 massive hits in 2 years.
I love my baby's leaving me. Now lonely teardrops are all that I can see.
Precious Wilson left in 1979 to pursue a solo career. Singer Kim Davis replaced her. The group had one more German hit with Go Johnny Go. Then Kim Davis died of a brain hemorrhage. Jane Yokin became the new frontwoman. Nothing worked without Wilson. The hit stopped. By 1985, Eruption disbanded. Precious Wilson owns the trademark now and tours with a new lineup, but none of the original members are involved. Number 2, Crown Heights Affair.
Thanking him for the love I found.
Brooklyn, 1974, originally called Ben Iverson and the New A Day Express. The 8-piece funk disco band signed with RCA. Their self-titled debut went nowhere. Then they moved to D-Light Records, the same label as Kool and the Gang, and everything changed.
One up in the sky.
1975's Dreaming a Dream topped the US disco chart and hit number 43 on the charts. The driving bass line, tight horn arrangements, and high-energy funk made them international dance floor favorites. Every Beat of My Heart hit number 2 on the dance chart. Dancin' became an underground classic. In the UK, Galaxy of Love and You Gave Me Love were massive. The latter hit number 10 in 1980.
Love that makes me feel so doggone good, baby, yeah.
But Crown Heights Affair were never household names. They produced records for other artists, France Jolie, Ami Stewart, Enchantment, and found more success behind the scenes than in front. When disco died in America, they found an audience in Europe and kept touring. By 1984, they disbanded. Trumpeter James Ajax Baynard died in 2015 after a car crash. Most disco fans today have never heard of them. Number 1, Voyage. French session musicians. That's all Voyage was. André Slim Payson on guitar, Marc Chantereau on keyboards, Pierre-Alain Dahan on drums, Sauveur Malia on bass. They'd worked with Sharoney, Manu Dibango, and Michel Sardou. In 1977, they decided to make their own disco album. Their self-titled debut featured songs named After Places, From East to West, Souvenirs, Tahiti Tahiti. The album was meant to sound like a jet-set trip around the world. Latin rhythms, African motifs, lush orchestration. From East to West hit number 1 on the dance chart and number 20 in France. British vocalist Sylvia Mason-James sang on their second album, Fly Away, in 1978. Souvenirs became their biggest US hit, number 41 on the charts. France, they were successful. Paris nightclubs played their music. Radio featured them, but only 3 singles charted and none higher than number 20. In America, they couldn't replicate their French success. The albums Voyage 3, 1980, and One Step Higher, 1982, disappeared completely. By 1982, the group disbanded. Even hardcore disco fans have forgotten Voyage existed. They were French session musicians who made 4 albums and vanished.